Our speaker this evening is Miss Patricia Ann Lazaro. She is a user experience designer at Samsung Electronics. Good evening, Miss Pat.
Hello, good evening. Hello, everyone. Thank you for
Okay, so
coming.
may we know where are you right now?
I'm currently here in Laguna, Philippines. I hope everyone can see my screen.
Shared.
Okay, so thank you guys for coming. So for today's session, I'm going to talk about Adobe XD and how to get started with Adobe XD. So hello, I'm Patricia. This is me. Uh, I studied Bachelor of Arts in Multimedia Arts at the LaSalle College of St. Benilde. I have 6 years of experience in UI UX design. I'm currently a UX designer at Samsung Research and Development here in the Philippines. And here are my social media sites that you can check on. I also upload videos on YouTube regarding UX and some of my hobbies. So here's our agenda for today. I'm going to be talking about the evolution of UI UX tools. So I will take you down the memory lane. So let us take a look back from Photoshop to XD. And then features that can help you get started with XD. And lastly is I will answer some of your questions. So the evolution of UI UX tools. In the 1990s, Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator was born. So Adobe Illustrator is a software that is used for graphic design, font, logo development, application. And Adobe Photoshop is an image editing software. But from these two softwares, Adobe Photoshop became hugely popular. So it became this all-in-one design tools for all. And as you can see from the time, Adobe Photoshop evolved so much. So it's not just an image editing software anymore. It can be used by a lot of creatives like designers, illustrator, interface designers, photographers, and uh, other aspiring designers. So I will take you back when I first saw Photoshop. It was here. This is a computer rental place here in the Philippines, and we call it computer shop. So this is where you can rent a computer for 20 pesos per hour. And they also offer other services like printing documents, or printing your stuff. And then um, remember when CD burning was a thing? So burning CDs, that's our Spotify playlist of the 2000s. So it was like this. You will burn songs on a CD using narrow express CD burning. So I was there in the computer shop, and then I asked the computer guy if I could uh get some of my favorite songs at that time burned in a CD so that I can listen it at home. So I wrote the songs that I like on paper, and then I gave it to the computer guy. And then while the computer guy was burning the songs on the CD, he was using this software to create designs for the sleeves. So they create designs like this to be on a sticker paper, and then they will place it on top of the CD. So I asked what software was that, because I got really curious, because it was like MS Paint, but it's more than MS Paint. So the computer guy said that it was Adobe Photoshop. So at the time I didn't know what was that. So I asked if I could have one installer, and then I will install it at home. So that guy gave me a CD containing Adobe Photoshop. It was this one very first experience with Adobe Photoshop was Adobe CS. So this is what the loading screen looks like, and this is what the interface looks like. So it's very uh 2000, very old already. This is the software where I got really interested into computer graphics. So Adobe Photoshop became part of my life and into my career, as well as a UI UX designer. But then way back in 2015, creating interfaces in Adobe Photoshop became tedious, so tedious, so that it looks like this. So you will create a lot of groups, a lot of artboard, a lot of Photoshop files, and exporting images on Photoshop takes so long to do, and much effort. Um, and then there was a rapid growth in the IT industry and an increased demand to produce more efficient and web and mobile interfaces. That's why a new design process was born. You know, we cannot go back to that inefficiency that Adobe Photoshop has offered. That's why uh, this new design was being implemented because of the demand. So it's the design, prototype, and handoff. So you have to design your ideas, you have to create your ideas into design, and then prototype. This is the process where you can test your design right away. So this prototype process eliminates all the errors on the production. It lessens down. And then handoff is where you will hand off your designs to developers for uh to programmer for development. That's why Adobe XD was born. So Adobe XD eliminate all that inefficiency that we encounter with Photoshop. So this software was created with that new design process and became the key feature of Adobe XD. So design, prototype, and collaborate. So, yeah. So right now, I'm going to show you features that can help you get started with Adobe XD. So I can see that some people commented earlier that they are very new with Adobe XD. So this is what it looks like. So this is the workspace of Adobe XD. So as you can see, if you already know Premiere Pro or Photoshop, if you've been using that, and some of the Adobe products, they're very similar. But if you could see the interface of Adobe XD, it's very simple. So if you've been using Photoshop, you can really adjust very well. So here on top is our tab. So we have three tabs. This is the new design process: design, prototype, and then share. And here are our toolbars, and then our property inspector, and our artboards, and our layers are also in here. So the next feature I want to share is artboards. So what is an artboard? An artboard represents the screen in your application or pages in your website. it streamlines the design process and creates interactive designs for multiple screen sizes in a single document. So you can use Artboard to create your XD project. In Adobe XD, it will provide you popular screen sizes for your projects, like from iPhone to iPad or for Android, then for web. And then you can also create your uh, a custom size if it doesn't fit the requirements of your project. Then within your project, you can also use the artboard tool. And then when you use the artboard tool, they have presets over the side that you can use. Next one is the tabs. The three tabs that we have in Adobe XD is the design, prototype, and share. So it is located on the top portion of Adobe XD. So design mode is where you can create your design in artboards, and you can also import assets from other Adobe softwares like Illustrator, Photoshop, or from the web. Then next is prototype. So this is where you can link your artboards together and animate the components without coding, so that you can view on a browser or on a device. So share is where you can share links for your designs for design review, developments, presentation, and user testing. So here is the toolbar of Adobe XD. So we have here is the select tool. So you will use this to select elements on your project. Then our shapes. We have rectangle, ellipse, polygon, line. So you can use this to create symbols. And then the pen tool. So this is very handy in creating your uh, designs. Text tool, artboard, and zoom. So below those toolbar, we have these three other tools that you could use. So one is libraries. So on the libraries, you can add assets, and you can reuse them and share them within your teams. So you can add them when you press the assets tool. You can add colors, text. uh, So it will create a library for your project. Next is the layers panel. So on the layers, this is where you can arrange your artboard and the objects on your artboard. You can move them forward like here in on the video. You can move an element forward, then you can group them as well. Next is plugins. So when you press on the plugin panel, you can add plugins that can help you with your design. So Adobe XD has a lot of plugins that will help you create your design faster, like uh, content generator, image generator, or icon generator. They have that. And the next is properties panel. So I will show you what it looks like on XD. So here I have a project on XD. So this is the properties panel. It differs depending on the element that you're selecting. For example, I'm selecting a shape. So as you can see, we have here our transform property. So you can change the size of the shape that you want here. And then next is appearance. This is where you can change the color of your object. And then we have here the radius. You can add radius to your element. And then we also have the um, appearance effects. So this is already existing on Photoshop. So if you've been using this, it offers the same effects. So with the opacity, borders, you can add borders. You can add, you can increase the size and also the dash and the gap. And then you can make them rounded or square. You can make it uh, on outers too or middle. Then you can also add inner shadows and drop shadow. You can add background blur if you have background at the back. For example, like this, like that. It will blur. It will blur what's on the background. And then when you press on the text, let me zoom you in so that you can see. It offers different properties as well. So here you can change the fonts like that. And then you can also change the properties, the text style, the spacing, the line height, the arrangement, if you want it on the center or left aligned. And then we also have uppercase, lowercase, then underline and stroke. You can also add borders to your text and inner and drop shadow as well. So that's the properties panel. Next feature that we have on Adobe XD, this is a very new feature, is the 3D transform. Oops, sorry. 3D transform is used to produce a stunning layering of objects in the 3D space. So you can move your flat screen into three-dimensional. And then this is very useful for AR and VR experiences. So here, I will show you how it works. So you will have to select a component and then enable 3D transform and just rotate and move the canvas control. So on Adobe XD, we have here, and then I will just, here on the transform, this is the symbol for 3D transform. So I will just select it, and this is the control. So again, 3D. It's like that. So, and then next picture is the component and states. So component and state is very useful. I've used this a lot on all of my projects. So it when you create it, it will push all the changes across. For example, if you're uh, changing the color of a button, for example, there's a design change that you will change all the colors of the buttons on your screen. So components is very useful. Then you can also share it across the libraries, and you can also create multiple component states like hover or toggles for switches. So here how it works. You will have to select an element, for example, a button, and then you will make it into a component, and then you can add a state. So I'll show you. Here we have a floating button here. Um, for you to create it into a component, you will just have to right click and then make a component. So here I can add a hover state. So it already has an existing animation. That's why it has this lightning symbol. So hover. And I will just change the color of the hover state there. So I've created two states of this button. And then in here, that is already reflected. And then when I press on the preview button here, you will see that effectively. So when I hover, it shows. Next is the repeat grid. I think this is the most very useful feature that Adobe XD had. I really like this feature a lot, and this make the process faster. So um, repeat grid is it makes it can be used for like tables or listing, and then you will and it places everything in the right place, so you don't have to do it again and again, and then you will just have to adjust it once, and it will adjust everything on the list. So to so how it works is that you will have to first select your design element, and then you will click the repeat grid on the property inspector, and then you will drag it on any direction that you want, like horizontally or vertically. So you can also change content of each element. So I'll show you. For example, here we have here this um element. I want it to be scrolled horizontally, so I will use repeat grid here. Then I will just drag it out like that, and this one as well. Repeat grid. So you can see it's repeating. And then here in the screen, I want to create multiple of this um, component. So I'll use repeat grid. Then I will drag it out vertically. So there. Next, we have is AutoAnimate. So AutoAnimate is like creating an automatic animation on your prototype. So uh, it it's creating engaging animation on your screen. So like scroll or swipe or pull to refresh like that. Or if you're want to have a transition between shapes. So here how it works. For just connect to artboards, and then on the action, uh, use auto animate on the type, and then you can preview it on your prototype. So here I have uh, two artboards. So one is that it has this um, line, and then here it moves to another direction. So on prototype, I will just connect these two artboard, connect it to the next artboard, and then I will change the type to AutoAnimate. And then when you preview it, so it automatically adjusts and creates the animation for you. So you can look through YouTube. A lot of uh, YouTuber create a lot of tutorials regarding AutoAnimate, how you can um, use this for your prototyping and for your project. Next we have is scroll group. So before, scrolling in Adobe XD is limited, very limited. You can only scroll vertically and not horizontally. So that's very hard if you're creating like sliders for your website design or your for mobile design. So they have now a new feature which is scroll group. It enables a level of your interaction in design. So it allows a user to scroll up, down, and side to side and pan around your design. So how it works is you select scroll groups on the properties panel. So I'll show you. Let's go back to the one that we created earlier. This one. Remember that I used repeat grid to have repeating elements. And then when I press the preview button, I cannot scroll it horizontally. So we need to use scroll groups. So I will select this group, and then here, this is the scroll group icon. So I will use the uh, horizontal scroll group. So it automatically adjusts. So in here as well, when I press play, so you can now scroll it horizontally. Can also do that for vertical. So I will select this and then press on the scroll group, vertical scroll. So when I press the preview, you can scroll it vertically. So next we're now going to the share and collaboration feature of Adobe XD. The first one is co-editing. Oops. So, so co-editing makes the collaboration faster in your work efficiency and efficiently. So you can add your developers, copywriters, and other designer to the document so they can see it uh, in real time. So they never lose track of what's the latest version of your document. So here how it works. First, you have to save your file as a cloud document so that you can use the collaboration tool. So then the second one is you have to invite them just by entering their email address, and then they can already collaborate in real time. So you will see your colleagues have this colored boxes and then have their avatars on it, and then you can see them editing. You can enable it here. So As you can see, it says that you have to save this file to a cloud document so that you can invite other people. So when you save it as a cloud document, let's wait for it there. So it says invite to document, and then you will just add people to the file. Then next is share links. So with share links, you can share a shareable link with a password or with invited people only, and then you can get the feedback that you want because they can uh, drop a pin to your work and where they can comment so that you will know the feedback right away, and then you can just update that link as much as you like. So here how it works is you will navigate first to the share tab and then just make a link and then you can send it right away by email, or you could use integrations like Jira and Slack. You can add them to the plugin so that it's integrated. So here is the share panel. So I will share all of these screens. So use you can select here on the view setting if it's for a design review or for development, presentation, user testing, or customized for your viewing experience. So example, I want to get a feedback. So design review. And then link access, you can add anyone with the link or only invited people or anyone with password. So use anyone with the link and I will just create a link. So we created this link. So it will open like this. And then let us wait for the comments. Then a comment will show. Then you can use this, place a pin where you want to add your comments. So put here, and you can just make your comment. Change, for example, there. And then last feature that we have is design specs. So this is very useful for developers. So for in a design spec is you will create a link and then you will share it with the developers, and then you can discuss and developers can bring your designs to life because the specification is already there, pre-made for you by Adobe XD. So here is how it works. So here on the share tab again, as you can see we have here links. So you can create a new link or you can just replace the existing link and then just change it to development. And then you will choose which type you want. So for web, iOS, and Android. So for the development share, only the web includes a CSS code. So for iOS and Android, they don't include code. So I will use web so that you can see the uh, code. Then I will just update link. So the difference now is that it has this inspect symbol, says view specs. So when you click on it, it will show all the specification of the screens like colors. It will highlight on which part that color was used, and then the fonts are here, and also the interactions are shown like that. And then when you select an element, so it will show the size and then the radius as well as the CSS properties on this side. And then it can also show the design states that we created earlier here. You can see hover, hover state, and then the default state. Yeah, so I think that's the end of my presentation.
Okay. Okay, Miss Patricia, my question for you.
Mhm.
And my first question, yan, what advice would you have for others who want to set off in a similar direction, who wants to learn and to pursue the same path?
Mm, yeah, you can uh try it out. So there's a lot of tools that you can use on the internet, and plus Adobe XD is also free, so you can download it right away and start creating interface design. And then there's a lot in LinkedIn Learning as well as in YouTube that can help you get started with designing interfaces. Mm. Does it matter what framework are we going to use? I'm kind of use whether I'll use. Uh no, I think any framework you can use it. It doesn't really matter when you're learning UX. So uh it's up to you whatever framework that you would like to use, like WordPress, Wix, or Squarespace. So that doesn't matter in learning UX. So UX uh only focuses on user experience. So as long as the your website is easy to use, so I think you're good already.
Okay, and thanks, Miss Kimberly, for asking question.
Yeah. So next question is from Asma. When learning UX, should I know all the basics first, or I can learn it just by practice? Uh well, you can learn all the basics, all the basics first. So it can help you. Of course, it can help you create interfaces very fast, and you can also learn by practice. I only learn by practice because before uh UX is not that prominent. So I only learn by practice. What I do is that I look up to brands like LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and then I download their app on phone, and then I screenshot it every time I see something new on the screen. Like if they change the interface, I screenshot those things, or on the web, I screenshot the website, and then I will just keep it on a folder, and then when I have time, I practice. I paste them on Adobe XD, and then I traced all the elements on that screen. So that's where I got my that's how I practice, and as well as recording the flow. For example, there's a new flow on Instagram by uploading a photo. So can record it and then learn it. I hope I answered that.
Can I
Next,
import vectors or
import.
icons
Yes,
from
yes, you can
Illustrator?
import. That's what differs Adobe XD from other UI UX tool is that you can import Photoshop uh, photos directly, just copy paste it, and then you can paste it on XD and also on Illustrator. If you created a vector on Illustrator, you can just Control C and then Control V on Adobe XD. It will import as vector as well, and so that you can adjust the colors on Adobe XD right away, and then the the points, the path on the vector.
Yeah, thank you for your time, and we hope to see you again. Maybe we can conduct another live stream training, uh, of course, with respect to your time.
Mm. Thank you, everyone. Thank you also for the questions. You can message me if you have more questions. So,
Yeah, so Miss Patricia is in LinkedIn. That's Patricia Ann Lazaro. Connect with her, follow her on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and subscribe to her YouTube channel. Okay, thank you everyone. Thanks, Miss
thank
Patricia.
you. Thank you.
Okay, thanks everyone. Keep safe
Okay.
and healthy. Bye bye. Thanks, Miss
Bye.
Pat.
Thank you.